Yeah. What's my take on it?
I just know it utterly shocked me and made my day all at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite awesome that you get free shit or you get money.
That was crazy.
From guys.
For existing and talking too loud.
Okay, so that's the double standard that applies to you and not someone like myself or just guys in general, right? Oh. Don't let me forget. I need to take a picture of you before you leave.
Okay.
Please don't let me forget. Because if I don't take the picture of you, I have to use the old picture.
A stock photo.
Yeah, stock photo of you. My phone's not on me or it's upstairs, and so I have to remember to go get it and then take the picture. You have to remind me if I don't remember.
I will gladly.
So you remember this guy about a fist away from you. You're taller, so I'll raise it.
Thank you.
Right there.
Hello.
Is that good?
Lovely.
Right
Should be
there.
pretty strong mic. Should be picking up my vocals just fine.
Yeah. Well, let's hope. So, yeah, I mean, double standards benefit more women than they benefit men, dude. That's for sure.
That makes sense. Because to me, men have to do more. Well, I don't know too many men that do more, but...
What do you mean? Yeah, let's fucking talk about this. This is going to be great, dude. Let me do the intro, bring you in. Blah, blah, blah. 1, 2. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Straight from the Chest podcast. My name is Justin Groth, and I'm your host on this personal development and growth podcast. Listen, if you're new to the show, I just want to take this time and I want to welcome you. Thank you for being here. You could be doing literally anything else, and you're here, so I very much appreciate you. And if this is your 200th time or just second time tuning back in, thank you for your continued listenership and support of the channel. It means a lot to me. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to us on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, basically anywhere there's podcasts, we're likely there. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the YouTube. We're trying to build that on the road to 1,000, let's say, hopefully by the end of the month. That'd be great with your support. And so anyways, please subscribe there if you haven't yet already. And without further ado, I'd just like to get into it. My friend, Brittani, welcome back. Welcome to the show again. How are you?
I am spectacular. Thank you so much. It is always lovely to be in your company.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but thank you very much.
I'll just say it's true.
So what's been up with you? You've been doing a lot lately. Traveling, working. Talk to me.
Well, I think I busted out of an invisible cage. And then I can't really say why, how, or any of those other applicable statements, but I've just been trying to almost find a way to live authentically. And you know what's interesting? I just want to say your intro. I love your intro. It's so motivating. And I want to say, if I remember the backstory, it came from a motivational speaker that you,
Eric Thomas,
are inspired by yourself. But when I hear that, I'm like, the dream.
Yeah.
Yes. Possessed by the dream. Yes. Because I am a dreamer. Like, it's really crazy to still be able to say that at 40.
Yeah.
I'm just going to hold fast to that 40 with a badge of honor. Like, whew, okay. It actually feels better than I thought it would feel.
Yeah, you don't look 40, that's for sure. But that's because you keep up with yourself. Rather, you keep up and doing all the things that make you better as a result. Not drinking, not smoking, not partying, etc. These things make you look younger by default. And people often wonder why I look 23. And I'm like, well, it's because I don't drink, never have, never smoked. You're going to get wrinkles in your face. That's just because if you're going to age, you're going to get wrinkles in your face. But how well does your skin look? How is your body aging as a result? Is your skin tight? All those things are predicated on your nutrition, if you work out or not, etc. So it's important to take care of yourself. You'll look a little bit younger in the process, you know? And then genetics play a big role. That's a huge component to the matter. And I don't necessarily think I have, good genetics in that regard. I think I have regular baseline genetics, but it helps when I've never drank or smoked to add to the equation. It just helps me maybe shave off a couple of years or a few years, but anything can help, right?
Yeah, definitely. Although I am a drinker, but not excessively. I have this whole balance conundrum. So it's like, everything in balance. But I got obsessed with my aging when I was 20. And I really started just topical. And I need to work out more. That is like absolutely a truth. I need to work out. I know. Oh, okay. Hi.
So sometimes... And so for the listeners, I'm going to put Brittani on the spot right now. Brittani, I'm going to put her on the spot right now. Some people will tend to look at the cameras in the studio and then they take eye contact away from me. And I can't tell you how much I fucking hate that, only because it makes the conversation less intimate on my end. And then you get a worse byproduct out of me. And I don't think you're here for that. I think you're here to gain the most out of me as I'm to gain the most out of you. So we don't look at cameras. I should have said that prior, but it just makes for a more intimate conversation. Those cameras, they don't exist. People are going to watch you. People, we're streaming or whatever. But what matters is right here, because then I get the best out of you get the best out of me. So I had to motion you with my fingers. We're talking. You're not on a commercial right now. We're talking.
Again.
But
I don't think it's the lights that make it hot in here anymore.
Oh, stop. It's the lights. These lights are horrendous, man. But you got to have lighting to, make you look good. So
I heard that.
Lights are important.
I thought about something though, airflow. Like you could angle up some fans.
Oh yes.
Although the sound.
That's the one thing. I have to get a low decibel sound fan or something like that. Dyson has a good one, but I've heard it and it's still
too high.
Something. Mm-hmm. And it's like that's gonna affect the listener or the quality of the audio. And if there's like a humming like a slight humming. So it's almost like I hate to say it, like I don't want to put up with it, but we just have to put up with it for the moment,
Some like it hot.
I don't. I fucking hate the heat. I would rather be cold my entire life. And some people are cringing as I say that, but I would much rather be cold than hot, because I always ration like this. I can put on all kinds of layers of clothes to keep warm, but you can only take off so many layers.
True. Before,
okay, well, you're going to have a heat stroke in it, I guess. You know what I mean? Like I can cover up as much as I can and gain the most amount of, I don't know, the best thermic environment, the most optimal thermic environment, as opposed to I can't take everything. I can't take my skin off, So at a point, it's like, and being hot is agitating. It's frustrating. Is it not the way for you? You like it?
Either way, but I hate being too cold. And too cold is pretty frigid. Like if you're in the snow and you don't even have warm clothes on, like that's too cold. Otherwise, I'm pretty agreeable in different temperatures.
You are agreeable, and that's the reason why I motioned I motioned my fingers to keep your attention on me, because one, I want your attention on me, and two, I knew that you wouldn't fuss about it.
No.
You're very much and that only comes from an agreeable woman. Like you didn't feel put off by me saying that. One, I think because we've known each other for quite some time. Like we have a long history. It's been we met each other when I was 16 or something.
I think.
Oh no, not
19.
16. I'm sorry, 19.
Yeah.
Same shit, really. I mean, it's long time, and we're what now, 64? So it's a long time, but it's been a really enjoyable ride with you. I mean, I haven't had that much time with you only because you've done life and then I've done life. You know, we were separated for a while. When I say separate, I mean like we were just in different towns for starters, and you were just doing your thing. You obviously got married, had kids. I didn't, because I'm a fucking I'm a what do they call those? I'm a gypsy. I just moved from no, I don't. But yeah, we just did life. We just did it differently.
Yes.
But the agreeable part of you is something that I've always treasured, because you don't. I mean, I know women, and I speak to women that are that, but the more and more time passes on, and when I see time, I mean the more generations that are, or the generation that's right below us that's getting older, you're starting to see less and less of that. Why do you think that is?
I think there's a lot of egoism. Like, I think people have been melded through social media to be egocentric and covetous. And it's sad, because really I believe that we are intrinsic. Even if you share similar viewpoints with a person, you are not going to have the same exact viewpoints or the same kind of life experiences that will always make you unique as the individual. And like, you get me into these very philosophical, deep delved conversations. And it's like, wait a minute, let me just slow up. That was enough.
Keep going.
Well, I think that is a lot to do with it. It's like, when you're in love with yourself, I write a lot. And one of the lines I've written is like, what do you have left to show the world when you're in love with yourself? You don't have anything. And it's not even like a gratifying love. It's almost like a lust for self, minus what we attribute lust to, which is usually sexual. But now we've become lustful for our bravado. And I don't know, I don't like it. I think that if we were to calm that down and get in tune with some of the more beautiful parts of ourselves that are, again, unique, only for you. It took a lot of different things in this paradigm to bring together the two people that made you. And likewise, whatever you end up procreating, even if it's just something that's uplifting and serving other people's mentality, which this platform definitely does, you're to me a purist. So you have a little bit of a different outlook than your common person, not to fluff up your feathers anything, but
explain to me what that means.
Well, I think people that like a purity, they're always going to be looking deeper. They're not surface satisfied. They're going to want to see more. And I heard we might be talking about males and females and relationships. That is something that I wish more people had a desire to see more outside of self.
Yeah, so we were speaking very briefly earlier off mic when you first got in, and you know, like we talk. I try not to talk too much, and I know my listeners know this, 'cause I always say this. I try not to talk too much to the person, because I want to save the content for. I want to save the authentic conversation for the microphone. But I mean, I haven't seen you in a while, and you're a really good friend of mine. So then I naturally I talk a little bit more, and it's automatically intimate because I know you. And you know me, so I talk about your last boyfriend, and I bring that, and then I say, because you know this, I hate script, And so I said, would you like to maybe talk about that? Because you started talking about things and I was like, wait. This is going to be, in my head, I said, this is going to be good. I said, wait, do you want to talk about this on the podcast? Because this could be informative. This could be enlightening to people, possibly a select, subset of the market that listens could enjoy this. And you said, sure. So that's why I thought it might be good to bring up. I mean, we'll bring up a number of things, but I mean, that might be something to touch on too. The boyfriend you were saying, you went into kind of prefacing, I don't mean to be a man hater. And why don't you give the listener some context behind what that meant?
Okay, so I've had a great deal of variations in relationships. I've had short relationships. I've had a really long relationship, which went through marriage and the whole gambit, in my opinion. We had our children after marriage. Like, if you wanted to say, oh, did you do it textbook, right? Because everybody thinks these things can be mapped out. They can't. Let me just go on the record saying they can't be mapped out. Like, because here you would have thought, oh, I did it right. I dated, I got to know people. I had a couple relationships that at a certain marker, I knew this was not the right relationship. And far be it for me to hang anyone on. That's one thing that I feel like is unfair to another human being. I don't care what the parameters of the relationship are, whether you're very successful or not successful at all, whether you're the nicest guy in the world or you're an absolute douchebag or jerk, whatever. If my heart and my mind together are not going to want to go further in the relationship, I have to do you the grace of saying, like, I'm so sorry. I know this might hurt you. It'll hurt me. It's not going to be easy. But I always had to get out of the relationship when I knew this can't keep going. And then with one of my relationships with my husband, ex-husband to be, all that good stuff, I really didn't have a quit button for a long time. There was just so much I was willing to do in that relationship, so much I was willing to endure. And let's just be honest, we all have variations of challenge. Some of us have trauma. And we bring that with us. Oopsie. We bring that with us. We take that, especially in our youth, we take that into our relationship. And not to isolate this one long-standing relationship, I dated different experiences, different ethnicities. Like you would ask, like, do you think it's ethnic centric? Like, no, my experiences, I don't think are ethnic centric. I think they're male centric. And I don't know if it has to do with the way the individual might have been raised. I do believe that for some men or males, when they have not had a strong family unit, we're dealing with a whole lot of insecurity. We're dealing with aspects that threaten a healthy relationship. I've never even had a healthy relationship. And I feel like that's sad.
Yeah. I have not really either. I think it's more abundant than you think. Most people don't, or a lot of people don't have healthy relationships, or there's aspects to the relationship that maybe that person's too immature at the time to be able to receive. And because this has happened to me when I've been in relationships, it's only been after the relationship ended where I can see where I went wrong, and I can see my faults, and I can see where I could have done better. But whilst immersed in the relationship, I'm blinded. And it doesn't matter what happens, what gets quote unquote better during the relationship. It's like I'm checked out or I think or I know that she's checked out, there's really no coming back from that. So even when you think, even if you were to have all the knowledge in the interim of things, you know, knowing that, well, I just do this, let's do this, let's do that. Sometimes it's just too late because you guys have already checked out, and you only learn afterward. And maybe it comes to you months or years later afterward, where you've been able to grow or evolve as a person, not only as a man or a woman, but just as an intellectual being and a reflective being. And you know, this is where I went wrong. I could have done this better. Now, things have their time, their seasons. So, you know, different situations have their seasons. Well, people are no different. People have their seasons in your life. And so I guess chalk it up to, what did I learn from that person, or what did I gain from that person? And maybe you gained nothing. Maybe that person was the only one that gained from you being in their life. And maybe you were just on pause for a second while God was working on your behalf for somebody else. And he had you in here because he knew that, well, I know that you're not going to get worse here. At worst, you're going to stay neutral. But this is for this person, not for you. You're serving a part to play in this person's life. It's not benefiting you per se. I've had relationships like that as well, where I can't think of where I gained other than I got better at debating. I got better at arguing, which is not a good thing.
No.
Okay.
Agreed.
But when you can say that is the only thing I took from that 3-year relationship, I think it was more so on the other end where they benefited. And I can point out where that other person did benefit selfishly from me. And I'm not saying that I'm not a selfish person to certain things. I definitely am. But I know, because I know this person. And for the listeners, I'm speaking of somebody in real time, real life here. Like, this is somebody that I'm not obviously to say the name, but excuse me. When I look back, I thought, I know where I benefited you, and I know I'm unbiased in this. I would say where you benefited me. Okay, let me really break it down. Sex, and I got better at debating, arguing. I know it's really shitty to say that, but that's the truth. And sometimes the truth is not flattering. Sometimes the truth is not pretty, but that's the truth. I can't think of a thing that she gave me that was to gain.
Right.
Apart from that.
But you got something. No,
yeah, I got something. Yep.
I don't know. This last experience really put me into a position. I do think I gained a lot because I recognized qualities in myself that I have to do away with. I have to do away with apologizing when I'm not wrong. The wrong people will take advantage of that. They'll make you always sorry. And you didn't do anything wrong. They'll make you sorry for things they did wrong. And I didn't recognize that that's a pattern, that I go from a place of humility, but at the same time, what I'm really doing is creating a fail-safe for someone to then hurt me if they want to.
It's also a personality disorder, because you're saying that somebody's making you feel sorry for something that they did?
No. I will apologize for what I know I didn't do wrong to even the playing field.
Oh, I see. So they're not making you do that?
No.
Okay, they're not being manipulative
Personal
or anything.
flaw.
Oh, okay, so they're not being manipulative or anything?
No.
Oh, okay.
Although I do think that there was a level of just something I don't understand. I don't really want to speak on it because I like speaking about things I know.
Sure.
I really don't like speaking about things that I don't know. So when we're dealing with another human and their mindset, you can't know everything.
Yeah.
You can have inference, which I think is powerful. You can have intuition, which I think is powerful. But as far as me to be able to say, oh, I know this was going on, I don't really. I can say a lot of nonchalant and careless behaviors, which I don't appreciate. If I am coming to you with caring actions that are obvious and there's not a reciprocation on a lot of levels, like just not really a reciprocation, then I don't feel like that's the right relationship. Because even if we could part being friends, being cool, you're willing to take and not give. I don't really care for people like that. And I'm not even just talking about male, female, or whatever attribute we could put to that type of intimate relationship. I'm saying even friendships. Like if you are a comfortable taker in a friendship with no real give, to me that's a flag. That's like, they say red flag, but I'm like black flag, raid, like
Yeah.
not healthy.
Do you notice these flags right away, or are you one to dismiss them even when you see them?
Sadly, I'll dismiss them in the name of love, which is not noble. It really, I used to think it was noble. Like my whole quest for love. I